Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm Sam Toure. And today's video, it's about a question that I've had since 2016. Since 2016, this question often crosses my mind, and today I wanted to talk about it. The question is, why 2016? Why so long? Well, in 2016, we know at the end of the season, Nico Rosberg was crowned champion. Within hours after that, he announced his retirement. And ever since then, the question has been on my mind, lingering and wondering. And today, here's the question. We know Nico Rosberg is the son of an ex-Formula One driver. We know from seeing his videos with Lewis Hamilton as a kid that he's been, all his life, he was brought up to be a Formula One driver. What I don't know is why would someone who eats, breathes, and grown Formula One all his life be crowned world champion and within hours decides to retire. And the question I have most is, what must have been Nico Rosberg's relationship with his teammate Lewis Hamilton? We know that in Formula One, it's a pair of two that are teammates, and your direct competition is obviously your teammate. Why would Nico Rosberg, having been crowned 2016 world champion, immediately and suddenly decides, that's it for me? Well, that's when I became concerned as a huge fan of the sport. Now, I then thought about it and I asked myself, what was it like for Nico Rosberg to convince Mercedes-AMG F1 to switch Lewis Hamilton's Bono's race engineer to Nico's team? First time that crossed my mind is when I realized this relationship must have been so toxic. Think about it. Ever since Rosberg left Formula One in 2016 and was replaced by Valtteri Bottas, Bono has been the race engineer for Lewis Hamilton. Before that, the same thing before Rosberg. Bono has always been with Lewis Hamilton. How was Rosberg able to take Bono from Lewis's team to his team? I can't imagine what must have been behind such a decision. And I always wondered what the relationship must have been, and it must have been so toxic. Proof positive. Have you ever seen Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton share a podium and where Lewis was the victor and Nico was either second or third? A lot of people believe this, that 70% or more of communication is non-verbal. Just watch any of those videos of Nico's body language when he shared a podium as a second or third. It tells a whole lot of story. I don't know how many of you remember when after the race they were getting ready to come up to the podium. Lewis had won the race and he took his hat, he took the second position hat and passed it over. One would say throw it over to Nico. And Nico went around and just flipped it back and hit Lewis. And the look, if looks could kill, I will never forget that. So that's a question that had never left my mind. Now, what would Lewis say, unhindered, unrestricted, about that? And what would Lewis Hamilton say about his relationship with Fernando Alonso at McLaren? We know that Fernando Alonso told Ron Dennis that Lewis Hamilton was not ready for Formula One, and that he believed Ron Dennis was making a mistake and chose the wrong guy. We also remember first race, 2007, first corner, Lewis Hamilton left Alonso behind forever. Forever. Now, what do you think Lewis would say about his relationship with Jenson Button? I would love to know. I would love to know. Absolutely would love to know. Now, I've never thought I'd have a question more in need for an answer than what would Lewis say? Either most likely after Formula One, what would he say about Abu Dhabi? Or in general, what would Lewis say about the 2021 season? What do you think Lewis would say about pre-race when he would kneel and only 2 or 3 drivers would do the same? How do you think Lewis would feel? And what do you think he would say about that? You know, when you say, the saying goes, we race as one. I always wondered watching it, what do you think Lewis Hamilton is thinking about, and what would he say about that? I would love to know. Now in Abu Dhabi, we all know what happened. Like you say, it was witnessed even with Channel 4 in England. 9 million spectators watch it live. What happened, we all know. Michael Masi, maybe more than Michael Masi, had made a decision that was not in the rule book. Something anyone who is a fan of the sport, this goes beyond Lewis. I'm a huge fan of Lewis Hamilton. But prior to Lewis Hamilton, I was a huge fan of Williams' BMW team. Juan Pablo Montoya, even Jenson Button as he raced for Williams, my quick Nick Heidfeld, Robert Kubica. These are guys, you know, like I said, I even bought the V10 because of that car. So, what do you think Lewis would say, unhindered, unrestricted, about his 2021 season, the entire season, and certainly Abu Dhabi itself? I said in a prior video that I seen Lewis Hamilton in the Middle East. Someone videotaped it. He was running on the streets in the Middle East. I call it a foreign country because it is foreign to Lewis and myself. Running to get ready for pre-race. We seen him rock climbing, we seen him surfing, we seen him lifting weight with Angela, we seen him doing abs. He's super fit. And if you ask, he was 36 years old, now 37. He was so committed. And I think if Lewis is to come back, which is still doubtful, he will still always give it his best, like he's done. I like to always go back whenever I think about Lewis Hamilton and what makes him different from any other Formula One ever in history. He compares himself and his family to the movie Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team. By the way, this year, 2022, within 2 weeks or so, Jamaica, for the first time in 24 years, is qualified to compete in China with the bobsled. I thought that's kind of telling. But the reason why I made this video was to address the question that I said lingered ever since 2016 with Nico Rosberg, immediate retirement or quitting the sport of Formula One following his championship. I want to ask, what do you think Lewis Hamilton book will say? When do you think he will write a book? And when he does, what chapter of that book are you most cannot wait to read? Would it be the chapter with him and Alonso? Would it be a chapter in Abu Dhabi? I think it would be a chapter about him and Nico Rosberg. I believe when Lewis Hamilton writes that book, it's going to destroy. It's really going to test. If he doesn't destroy it, it's going to test the existence of Formula One as we know it. What would Lewis Hamilton say about his relationship with prior Formula One owner, as we know, the guy I call the Lewis Hamilton hater? What would Lewis Hamilton say about Bernie Ecclestone? I've never heard Bernie Ecclestone say anything positive about Lewis Hamilton. If he did, I didn't believe it. Well, that's the video. Thank you always for watching it. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your positive comment. I would love to hear what you think. When you think Lewis Hamilton would have a book, I can't wait to read that book. Have a good evening. May God bless you.